Yeah, so those were some of the advantages. The disadvantages were that the minority of people could not relate, but that was the point to make people understand. So I didn't really agree with that disadvantage, but obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Some of the disadvantages were doesn't show how people can overcome it. I thought this was quite helpful because like I didn't really explain like ways of coping. Um, People also said that by watching this, it may be triggering to some, which I understand, but in a way, I wanted to spread awareness. So, yeah, I thought this feedback was undescribably helpful, as I would have taken into account everything that everyone said, and this would have made, and I would have adapted to everyone's ideas and feedback and made it my own, and just basically just improved my concept. I also wrote like what emotions do you feel? Everyone was like they feel sympathy and empathy for the character. It also sheds like hope and enlightenment, makes them happy, content, relaxed and calm. Yeah, so that's a good side. It's like it's quite positive at the end. At the beginning obviously it's quite depressed and like dark and then just quite not a nice negative atmosphere. The key themes were obviously mental health, anxiety, stress, like suffering, like literally all the things above. And as you can see here, the key themes are here as well. So primary research, this allows like primary research allows me to ask my teachers and classmates like for ideas and feedback. This helps as my teachers like know what they're doing, so also they can give me like the best feedback in the world. As primary research, as you saw before, I conducted the questionnaire. Secondary research is really, really good as I can look at similar products. Like I mentioned before, I can go on IMDb, which is right here, and Google my similar products in detail. And I can write like summary of my similar products. And here I included pictures with ones I said above. And on IMDb, you can look at the ratings of similar products and you can look at the demographics. And here I wrote some of the reviews of the similar product that I spoke about. So here you can see it got quite a lot of good reviews. I did the same thing with my other similar product, the Social Dilemma, and I included pictures and I looked at all this stuff, which was really helpful, as I got like an insight what people thought on their original thing. So hopefully I can do the same. Um, Here I just spoke about like BBC for like channel BBC and Channel 4 like their target audience and the consumer research, and obviously I evaluated like why I conducted this research, how is it helping with my project, is it improving your idea, does it add any elements I didn't add before. We did like a mini self-evaluation. For the visual research, I looked at director's source of inspiration. So I spoke about Wes Anderson, as he tends to make comedy, but he still uses like symmetrical framing in his films. And he does it from scratch, which is really cool. He mainly does like symmetry. His compositioning is amazing, and he makes like sophisticated, sped up films, which I think is really fascinating. His style is very unique, and like he's a very hardworking person, and he's very imaginative, and his visuals are just really sick. And he focuses on like his own psychology. Like his audience knows what he wants them to know, sees what he wants them to see, feels what he wants them to feel. And his symmetrical imagery shows what he's thinking and he's telling a story. Here are some of the pictures that Wes Anderson did for his films. Another one was Stanley Kubrick. He is like a genius filmmaker and master of composition. He uses composition to inflict a psychological reaction to make the audience feel like in an uncomfortable state, which I think my FMP for my idea that I've produced, I feel like sometimes when watching it you may feel uncomfortable, as it's like not pleasant watching the main character go through certain things. And here you can see like his shots are really symmetrical. Also, if I want to incorporate I incorporated the rule of thirds in cinematography, like dividing the image into thirds using horizontal and like vertical lines. So you can see like the framing is like in perfect shot. And I've definitely incorporated all these listed above to the T. Here I just focus on like the visual source of inspiration. So from the similar products that I mentioned before, just here like what the shots I like visually. Yep, so I spoke about this film on YouTube, The Uncontrollable. I even focused on the Iron Man and the panic attack scene. Even from Harry Potter, I like how they use like static, erratic, like shots and flashbacks, which I thought was really cool. Here are my test shots and my camera technique practices. So here I did like practice shots before I actually executed my film. This was actually quite useful because when filming, I could see what I wanted, and I knew what I wanted to film when I did like test shots. For audio inspiration, obviously I'll use like free sound and look at like different ambiences of like woodlands and the nature that I'm filming in a park, and also I have like tube ambiences and like a phone ping when her phone goes off in the thing. And obviously I'll put like background music which suits my idea. The background music I've used, I think it's really cool. Um Here are like the emotions color convey. So like obviously I want to incorporate greys. It kind of has connotation to like depression and like sadness and stuff. And then blue, it kind of gives the character a sense of hope, but like too much blue come across as like uncaring and cold. Like obviously like melancholy, stuff like that. Green symbolizes so many emotions, especially in color psychology. It can be like relaxing and soothing, but also has feelings of like anxiety. They can become lazy, moody, and slow. Purple indicates sensitivity of a person. Yellow is associated with hope as well as normal colours because this makes you feel like better and brighter, like you're just better in general. And it's like more a positive, warm colour. Like colour psychology is based on like mental and the emotions that it has an effect on people and the colours that come with it. Like obviously everyone's interpretation is different and the way they perceive different colours is different. But here's my perception on the colours that I want to incorporate. The evaluation and feedback. So obviously I made a rough edit and I made another survey and questionnaire, and I just got people's opinions of how I could improve my FMP because before I make a final edit, I thought this was the most helpfulest thing in the world because here I could see people's perspective and viewpoint of my edit that I've made, which was rough. But then people gave me advice and feedback, and I incorporated that to make my FMP more finalized, and it was just amazing. Like I literally took everyone's feedback into account. So I asked like, what did you think of the unsettling? And everyone gave their honest feedback, and I encourage you to keep going to like make sure your edit is completely finished. Everyone thought the concept was amazing and it was executed very well. Very impressive cinematography and the editing. The storyline made sense. Like everyone thought the concept was really clear. I was very creative. It was really original. It demonstrated like different types of the key themes that she was feeling. How did you think I could improve and make it better? Here you can see I wrote a lot because I like criticism, so I can improve as it kind of like challenges you more to do better and succeed. So some of the things people said was I should like cut some clips short, or I could use like more cool visual editing skills. I kind of described that, but I wanted it to be like, I didn't want it to come across and people get distracted of the as in like the cool editing visuals. Like I wanted them to focus on like the storytelling, and the main character's emotions, and what she was portraying and how she was feeling. So my teachers gave me feedback on the audio, and they told me to do like X fades and like where it intertwines and like overlaps the audio, so it makes it run smoother and it's less like erratic and like choppy. Because the audio in the rough edit was very choppy and all over the place and just didn't run smooth and it wasn't like pleasant to the ear. So I've improved this. Like, did people feel any sympathy for the character? They all felt sympathy for her when she was having her panic attack. As obviously it isn't pleasant to watch, but that's actually what people go through. People thought the main character was amazing. Like, she carried out the scenes very well. She was well directed, just incredible, and her facial expressions weren't over the top and they weren't exaggerated, just like the perfect amount. Um, also, also the name. They thought the name of the unsettling fits the concept, as unsettling as connotations to like you're feeling on edge, you're uncontrolled. Oh god, you're uncontrolled, and you're not fully yourself. So I feel like that's a perfect answer, because it just like describes like my concept is literally unsettling because you don't feel like yourself. You feel like at ease and uncomfortable, and that's what I wanted to make the audience feel. Majority of people could relate, which I find really upsetting, but also happy if people could relate to my concept because it showed that you're not alone. Our main goal was spread awareness and stuff, and literally everyone rated my film above a 7, which I think is super generous, as it shows like it wasn't a bad, because I got like above 7, which is really good. And that's literally everything for my research report. Yeah, okay, now this is part 2. So we're gonna move on to part 3.